At the same time that that story was falling apart, we finally heard that indeed 6 police officers are going to be charged and were charged. City State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby said that Freddie Gray received the critical injuries that led to his death in Baltimore police custody, charged all 6 officers involved in his death with different charges. And we'll talk about what those charges are. And the story that they're telling is that indeed there was a total failure to secure Freddie Gray properly in the police van. The prosecutor faults the 3 arresting officers for not properly restraining him, for not seatbelting Freddie Gray. And this is the most incredible part. We kind of knew about the failure to secure Freddie Gray. Remember at the very beginning of this, how we were told the impetus for Freddie Gray being arrested in the first place was a switchblade. Remember that, Lewis? Remember that key detail?
I remember. That's what started this whole thing.
What we have now heard from the city attorney is that the entire arrest may have been illegal because an investigation by the state attorney uncovered that the knife in possession that Freddie Gray had in his possession was indeed not a switchblade and was thus a legal knife under Maryland law, meaning that the entire arrest was illegal at its core. And thus, that is a huge aggravating factor, because when you have a death in police custody, that's something to look at and analyze under the law. When you have a death under police custody for an arrest that was illegal or not consistent with the law in the first place, this now escalates the entire situation significantly.
This is incredible. An arrest that was illegal and never should have happened in the first place, ending with the police killing that person.
So go ahead, Lewis.
It seems like something you would read in a novel or see in a movie.
It does. And Mosby says that the officers are being charged with a number of counts of manslaughter, assault, and misconduct. And one officer is actually being charged with a count of murder. That's Officer Caesar Goodson Jr., charged with second-degree depraved heart murder, involuntary manslaughter, second-degree assault, 2 counts of manslaughter by vehicle, and misconduct in office. The other officers involved: William G. Porter, Brian Rice, Officer Edward Nero, Officer Garrett Miller, and Sergeant Alicia White are charged with a combination of involuntary manslaughter, misconduct in office, second-degree assault, etc. Baltimore Mayor Stephanie Rawlings Blake, who has been criticized on her own part for her handling of the Baltimore unrest, has discussed the case, saying, quote, "No one in our city is above the law. Justice must apply to all equally." This also brings up questions, Lewis, of stop and frisk type tactics, which is something the community has been demanding for a long time. We now see that this was allegedly an illegal arrest. So many questions as a result of this. What will ultimately happen with these charges against the officers? I don't know.
Well, maybe I imagine that some of them will be convicted, but who knows if they'll do time, how much time they'll do. The mayor said something interesting. You can't just charge these police officers and hope that this will fix all your problems and ignore the rest of the incidents that are happening in Baltimore all the time.